Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, tamers of all ages, to another Palworld TCG video. Did Pokemon accidentally create its own biggest competitor? I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. I'm not saying Palworld is bigger than Pokemon, cause it's not. Pokemon is still the biggest media franchise in the world. But I am saying that many of the decisions surrounding the Pokemon games and the Pokemon TCG have pushed a lot of players to look somewhere else, and when those players started looking, Palworld was waiting. Today I want to talk about why I honestly think Pokemon helped create Palworld's success, not just the video game, but now the trading card game as well. So let's start with the TCG. If you walk into a big box store on release day, let me know what you see. You'll probably see adults lined up before the doors open, be it Target or Best Buy, people filling shopping carts, entire shelves disappearing within minutes, people throwing down because they didn't get the last EV special edition ETB box. Or is that redundant? ETB. Elite Trainer box. That's like saying Elite Trainer box. I'm going off tangent. But yeah. For many buyers, it's not just about building a deck. It isn't about learning the game. It isn't even about opening the packs. It's about holding sealed product, grading chase cards, or flipping boxes for profit. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with collecting or investing. If that's what you want to do, that's awesome. You could just buy stocks, but if you want to wait for hours or overnight to make $50 a booster box, and then after shipping and fees, I don't know, take home $10, $15, that's all you, boo. But here's the downside. Kids, the audience Pokemon was originally made for, they often don't even get the chance to experience opening packs with their family because the product disappears so quickly. Instead, many parents end up buying singles online because sealed product is gone or heavily marked up. Ironically, so many people crack packs chasing expensive cards. The playable cards actually become incredibly affordable. That's fantastic if you're a competitive player, but it also creates a strange situation where opening packs feels less about playing the game and more about trying to hit that sweet lottery. So this is what made Palworld so interesting. Until just a couple days before release, booster boxes were everywhere. I have this recorded on my channel. Check out my videos on the 27th and 28th where I'm talking about where you can order it and screenshots of the websites. I'm talking about Game Nerds, Flipside Gaming, multiple other online stores. If you name your favorite big online seller, they probably had very good prices. But yeah, they were around $40 to $47 a booster box. That is ridiculously affordable, right? Your local game store may not have ordered much, and honestly, I understand why. Months before release, there just wasn't much demand, so I understand how a small company just didn't want to order stuff on the books that they weren't guaranteed to sell, right? They can't take that risk. They can't be stuck with product collecting dust on the shelves. And for months, literally since I believe in March when the game was announced and you could order from your distributor, people were just not getting pre-orders. No one was interested in the actual TCG. So I get why LGSs did not want to buy in, but if you wanted to pre-order, you had all these major online sellers, like I said, Game Nerds and Flipside Gaming. They had really good prices at the time. Keyword, we'll talk about that later. But yeah. I don't think those are going to be prices we will see again, maybe until the next reprint, and if the reprint is huge. But yeah, interest exploded. Content creators started covering the game. Gameplay videos spread. People realized that the gameplay was actually pretty good. It was nothing new. It was similar to Magic. But if you like Magic, you could step right into this game and know what to do. But Yeah. Then the scalpers showed up. The importance of this is the order of the events. Players had already been buying product. There was still inventory widely available as of the 28th of July. The remaining supply disappeared after the hype reached another level, and that's when many opportunistic buyers jumped in on the 29th. That's very different from a game that sells out before real players ever had a chance. So other hype, like let's talk about Digimon. Digimon TCG, that game was also heavily scalped like way before the release date. This game was scalped the day before release, the 29th. This game released on July 30th, 3 days ago. So yeah, like I'm saying, that's way different from other games. Like this, people who wanted their goods, they got it. And then the scalpers saw an opportunity and bought out the remaining, 10-20% of supply. So the gameplay does surprise me, like I said. This is probably where people are going to disagree with me, but personally, I enjoy Palworld's gameplay far more than Pokemon's. Pokemon has remained successful for decades because it's pretty easy to learn. That's one of its strengths. But for me, after all these years, the gameplay loop feels very similar. It's like you play a Pokemon, you attach an energy, play a supporter, you search your deck, attack, and then you repeat. Like, it's approachable, but it doesn't scratch that strategic itch anymore. Palworld reminds me, like I said, much more of Magic the Gathering. There's both a strength and a weakness in that statement. The weakness is that it doesn't completely reinvent the card game space, but the strength is that it gives players many more decisions every turn. Resource management, positioning, timing. You gotta plan multiple times ahead. And this is just set 1. Imagine where the game could be after 3, 5, or 10 sets. We're just getting started. And this just goes to show how tight and good the rules are for Magic the Gathering, to where someone just borrowing a little bit of their gameplay already sets it far ahead of the competition. And then before I forget, let's talk about prices of these major sellers. So I was talking about how Flipside Gaming and Game Nerds had some of the cheapest pricing at $40 to $47 a booster box. So that was just for their pre-order prices. Ever since the explosion in prices, they have raised the prices for these to like $100 to $150 a box. I do not think that is worth it, especially for the reprint set. So if you guys don't know, the first edition release says first edition on the box, and it says Palword instead of Palworld, and that's it. The actual cards are the same between the first edition and unlimited, but yeah, the unlimited will have the same exact cards, but there's no reason for the unlimited reprint to cost that much. I actually think the unlimited set will drop more, but that's a topic for another day, and I've touched on that a lot in other videos. Anyway, let's talk about the video game. So I honestly believe the Palworld video game shocked the industry. Here was a much smaller studio making a monster collecting game that felt fresh. Instead of following the same formula, they mixed together survival mechanics, crafting, automation in your base, exploration of like an actual badass, varied open world. You had that sweet base building that could use some fixing, but it still works. There's multiplayer. You could breed your pals. There's legendaries. There's firearms like guns. There's freaking lightsabers. It's insane how you go from like Stone Age weaponry to futuristic. It's insane. You could ride your pals like mounts, be it from swimming pals, flying, to just giant elephant type pals. You could start making factories to really just churn out your items. There's a technology tree, and the open world exploration, I keep touching on it, but you can't there's nothing in Pokemon that is even close to the open world exploration. It's similar to Zelda's exploration, in my opinion. You even have a glider. Like, it's just insane the amount of crazy bases you could make and how many pals you can ride, and they're varied. They're not just like a generic riding animation. Everyone is different. It's just fun. Like, there's just so many ridiculous things you could do, and you could accidentally become the villain and capture. You could use your Pokeball knockoffs to actually capture other people, and you could also kill people in this game with guns or whatever choice of weaponry you want. But yeah, but this game is like Pokemon for adults. Like, it's a step up from Pokemon. You fight criminal syndicates like Team Rocket from Pokemon, but then you start finding cultists. There's like flame cultists by the volcano. You find high-tech research facilities in the northern snowy areas where the researchers highly guard their experiments with high-tech laser weaponry and guns. And then you got ninjas in in the nice calmer area. You think you're safe, but then you have freaking ninjas in their little Japanese inspired hideouts. It's absolutely wild. Then you go south to the like freezing cold desolate wasteland, and then you start finding these crazy raiders that look like they stepped out of Borderlands or Fallout. The game world is actually unpredictable. Like, every time you step into a new area, some crazy shit happens. It's like Elden Ring, like when you're exploring Elden Ring, and everything is like a new challenge. It's actually hard, and it's fun to explore, and every hour you find something new. But the biggest criticism I do have is that the story isn't very memorable. But honestly, I never played Pokemon because of the story either. Like, ever since Black or White, like I said, the story has been absolutely ass. So, one of the strangest things that's happened is the legal battle between Pokemon and Pocket Pair, or the Pokemon Company and Pocket Pair. Every time there's another headline, another lawsuit update, another discussion online, people who never heard of Palworld become curious. They think, what is this game Nintendo is talking about? Why is everybody arguing about this? It's free publicity, and like people say, any publicity is good publicity. Now, some legal claims have resulted in changes. For example, Palworld changed how pals are summoned in response to patent-related issues. The Pokemon Company said that they have the rights to summoning your creature from a ball. So you used to be able to throw your sphere. They call them spheres in this game. You used to be able to throw your sphere to summon your pal, and now you can't. So they also tried patenting throwing a ball to capture a creature, but that was overruled because that is just a basic thing. Like, you could throw a net and capture a deer in real life. Like, you're gonna patent cavemen like strategy? What the hell? Like, they're literally reaching here. So regardless of how the legal process ultimately ends, every major headline has kept Palworld in the public conversation, and that's exactly what you don't want if your goal is making people forget a competitor exists. And they're doing it again. They just failed suing them, and now they're trying to sue them over movement on a mobile game, trying to say that they patented how you capture and move on a video game on the phone. Like, it's so ridiculous that it's turning people who are Pokemon fanboys, fangirls, into kind of like feeling bad for Pocket Pair that they have to put up with this bullying. So here's the thing, I don't hate Pokemon, I grew up with it. Some of my favorite gaming mechanics and memories are from Pokemon, like the anime, playing the TCG for the first time. And like I said, Black and White are some of my favorite entries in the series, and of course Gold and Silver, you can't forget those. I want Pokemon to be amazing, I want the games to surprise me again, and I want their TCG, the Pokemon TCG, to keep evolving. because when Pokemon is great, everybody wins. But competition forces companies to improve. If Palworld continues growing, maybe Pokemon will take more risks. Maybe they'll innovate, maybe they'll polish their games more and continue improving and increasing the supply of their TCG. That's good for all of us. Whether you play Pokemon, Palworld, Magic the Gathering, or anything else, competition pushes everybody to make better games. And honestly, as a gamer, as a consumer, that's exactly what I want. If you guys enjoyed this discussion, let me know down below. Do you think Pokemon accidentally created Palworld's success? Or do you think Palworld would have exploded no matter what? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more Palworld TCG gameplay openings and news, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.